Hi friends, welcome back to Librophiliac Knits. I'm your host Kat, and this is another episode of What the Heck Has She Been Up To Lately? It's so good to see you. Thanks for hanging out with me. I've been really busy lately. La 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 la. We're going to do standard knitting YouTube format here. So what am I wearing? What am I working on? Did I finish anything? Did I get anything? And it's going to be kind of quick and dirty because, as usual, I have left this until the 11th hour. The child gets off the bus in 35 short minutes. Let's see what we can get into. So first and foremost, what am I wearing? My very own hand-spun, hand-knit traveler hoodie. Yes, indeed. Look at this. Oh, I got a sunbeam here to really wash the colors out. Let me get out of it. It was an intensive labor of love all through 2024, starting Mother's Day weekend. Spinning happened most of Tour de France, all through July and August. And then knitting happened intensively as I was trying to finish this in time for the roller derby home team season, which started in October. You may have noticed I still haven't blocked this bad boy. I'll stand up a little. So it's nice and short. It will grow. The pattern expects it to grow 15%. And Wax was laughing at me because I wore this to the last bout and still not woven in. Don't care. La la la. Little happy yarn end. Do I have one on the other side? No, I think that one's actually woven in. Or it was how no, it's not how I started. It didn't start and go up this way and then come back down. That's not how it works. But for whatever reason, look at how thin that yarn was. Here, wait, let me put it in the sunbeam. This isn't working. This is supposed to be knit in a sport weight yarn. So for those of you who are looking at something and going, the yarn I have doesn't really go with the pattern, can disagree. Here is the proof in the pudding that you can do whatever the heck you want. Knit it on thinner yarn with the same size needles. And despite the fact that the fabric is a little bit see-through, if you really get up close and personal with it. Can you see my hands through there? Here, in the sun, you see how it's nice and see-through? But this is a woolen spun yarn, so this is a very warm sweater. It's not the softest, but I'm not complaining. It's not scratchy either. It's not like, oh, it's too scratchy, I can't wear it. It's like sometimes too warm. Yeah, one of these days I will very carefully block this and discover that it's too big. In the meantime, it fits perfect. So I'm going to do it a little bit out of order because I have a couple of acquisitions. So I'm going to do that next because I am on this Discord where people can resell their yarn, and I finally clicked a button on something for the first time ever. One skein of yarn caught my eye, and I was looking at it and I wanted to try it. It cost me $20, including shipping, which, you know, for hand-dyed yarn, that is a steal of a deal. I did a little unboxing video, if you will. I filmed when I opened this. Originally, I can add that in here. Hi. I was gonna try and wait until after I went to bed. It's 8:45 a.m. and I just got home from work. And there was a package in the mailbox. And it's for me. Secondhand yarn. This is my first ever purchase from the Discord that I look at where people de-stash stuff. And ooh, I couldn't resist. It is Ruby and Roses Rose DK, which is 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon, 246 yards and 100 grams. DK weight. Blue meets red from a Taylor Swift related colorway theme. I have been thinking about making the sea glass sweater, not the cardigan, the sweater, and this I think will go very nicely. Either as it could be the cuffs and the collar. It's super soft. Goes really well with my stupid bright hair. Ridiculously bright, yes. Look, I popped to my fingernail. Polishes right off yesterday. Okay. Oh, it smells nice too. It smells like a Veda. Or was that me? I don't know. All right. That's all I got. It's so pretty. Bye. But it's so pretty. I'm gonna try it in different light. Ruby and Roses, Blue Meets Red from Taylor Swift collection, DK Superwash Merino, which I think is going to be a part of my sea glass sweater. That was what I was imagining it would go with. We'll see. But this is my one purchase. $20. No patterns, no nothing. Till tomorrow. And then I had an unexpected gift, which, did you know that roller derby friends are the best friends? One of my former league mates, she has been retired now for a number of years, but I took over the knitting charity from her, and I've been failing at it since the return from the pandemic. But she tried spinning to about this degree, decided it wasn't for her. And so she offered it to me. And this came from Conceal and Carry. That was her derby name. Just free gift with friendship. It's definitely, I suspect, I mean, I'm tempted to call her back and be like, look, bro, what you needed to do was just put this in the steamer and steam it up, because it's pretty compacted, and I did try to spin it a little bit, and it was tough to spin. Kasha's Knits, hand-dyed top, 100% BFL. Yeah, it's pretty compacted. And so, I didn't get to speak to her directly. She sent it through a friend, so I couldn't be like, admire it and then go, you could maybe try this again in a different way and it would be better. So that option is still available to us. I'll circle back if that happens. Otherwise, I might just spin her some yarn and gift it back to her because it's so pretty. Look at, I mean, this right here, this color, this teal is everything in my universe. But then the blue and the purple and the red, they're so good. And there's a little orange in there. Yes, it's so pretty. So those were the two things that I acquired since last we spoke. And my foreshadowing, I won't bury the lead too hard. I am purchasing a floor loom tomorrow, secondhand, from the lovely people. The Weavers Guild of Minnesota have what do you call it? An advertisement, a classified section. And I have been obsessing on that page, but a lot of what is available, it's so wide ranging. It can be free, it can be $8,000, it can be anything in between. I wish that I had known about them when I was first looking for spinning wheels, because there are a bunch of reasonably priced spinning wheels on there, and they're local. I mean, some of them are like, drive an hour and a half, but that's still pretty local. Compared to, like, if you look on eBay, then the floor loom that I admired and wish to own, pickup only somewhere in Florida. Not the part of Florida I was recently in, unfortunately. Or, I might have just rented a car and driven home, but no. So I have been squirreling away cash money when it comes to me, in the hopes of eventually, I'm just petting this. Where's Camilla when we need her? Emotional support chicken for pets. I've been squirreling away cash when it comes to me, and I don't need it for something and I have to put it back into my bank account. Like, sometimes my kids will give me cash and be like, Mom, can you put this in my bank? Because it's easier to them to do that and just have me transfer it to them than to say, go to the actual bank themselves. And that is their choice, as young adults. And if that is not something that I absolutely need in that moment, then it just becomes my savings and secondary. Like, yeah, I have a checking account and savings account, but now I also had this little wad of cash that was being set aside that was slated to be for me to get a nicer loom. And this lady is selling a loom that is made in Washington Island in Wisconsin, a Sievers brand loom. It doesn't have all of the bells and whistles, but it's got plenty of them. It will be a 4-shaft jack loom. And I'm really excited to take up all the rest of the space that I had in my recently reorganized craft area. Part of the reason that I reorganized it was in hopes that somebody would come home and to take over that space. I currently have a table here, and the table has not been working in this room, and it needs to leave. It's a lovely, like, family heirloom coffee table. It's even got the monster feet on the bottom. It's round, a coffee table height, and has featured heavily in a lot of my very happy memories all throughout my life. But it's not currently working in here. And part of the reason that I was moving it around was it's got to get out of here. Either it's got to find a different place to live in the house, or it's got to go live in the garage for a while until it becomes somebody else's or something. I don't know. I might ask my parents if they want it back. They'll say no. Then my kids will squabble over it. Who knows? Anyway, I have a space set aside for my loom. We're supposed to go get it tomorrow. So very excited. Wish me luck. So what have I been working on? Well, I have had more time to do things lately than I expected. I've been talking about spinning. So I'll show you the one other spinning thing. I just finished spinning up the second bobbin of, this is plying, I should say, plying these. This is do you remember that enormous bag of baby doll Southdown wool that I got? That was already washed, and I've just been carding it and spinning it, and you know, tearing it to shreds because it's dirty. It's got a lot of schmutz in it. See, VM, one must say. It has much VM. There's another little bit of it. It's just these constant little, like, you can't see it. See that? There it goes. Bye. It's all over in this wool. So cleaning it is really the long-term project. But I got this much yarn. It's so chubby. It looks so good. Here we're going into the light again. Oh, look at that. It's kind of slightly darker than oatmeal color. It's a really good neutral. It's pretty soft. I don't think it's going to be next to skin soft, even if I wash it very carefully, because it does have so much VM in it. But it'd probably be good for like mittens, or I don't know. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to, whoa, let's drop that. I was going to put it up over here, but I think something's going to fall down if I do that. So no, never mind. Trying not to lean out of frame today. So that is the yarn that I spun. I've still got this spindle project in process. Thanks again to Marce of Hey Brownberry. I dropped it and it partially unraveled when I was. I haven't touched this since the last time I was spinning it on camera, so that one doesn't really count. But it's been lurking. Here's the AVB sweater I've been working on. I've gotten a little bit. Look at this fun. I don't know, what do you call that? Honeycomb pattern. And the cables are starting to be visible. See how they're different? But this mostly sat and didn't get a ton of play. And then today I was working on this one. You must remember. See, and I did it again. For whatever reason, the place that I like to stop is not at the beginning of the round. It's approximately 2 repeats in. And I've been considering the idea of going through and putting a stitch marker in between each repeat, but the last ones have been so easy and like big chunks. See, like 7 in a row, or well, 6 and 8 now, I think, but there were like big chunks of just knitting one kind or the other, and somewhere in the middle of that would it be where the stitch marker went, and it did not make sense to me, so I did not end up doing it. But I've done about 3 rows on this, which is the most I've worked on it in a very long time, and it's so pretty, and my wool is so pretty. Ooh, we're gonna have a yellow moment. Anyway, and then I was asked to come in and pick up an extra shift at work, but then it turned out that the assignment I was given, I really just had a flurry of activity in the beginning of the night, and then I sat waiting for something else to happen, and I got so far on my socks that I did not feel comfortable continuing with them, because I think it's time to start the decreases for the toe, but I didn't want to keep taking my shoes and socks off at work to check it, so I just stopped there. That was a good stopping point until I came home and could work on that in the privacy of my own home with my bare toes. Not that anybody was complaining, but in the meantime, I did some more work on this hat, which is also looking fantastic. You may remember that I tried to make one of these and it turned into a cowl for my child, and I ran out of the original wool or yarn, and then I had more, so This is that same yarn. I liked how it looked with the cables. As you can see, it's got really good stitch definition. It's looking great. I feel like there's plenty left to finish the hat. It's just a basic acrylic that's been lurking around my house forever. Nice gray, super soft. A doubled brim, so it'll be cozy warm. This is the Crown Shy beanie by Isolde Teague. Sorry. AVB by For the Love of Knitwear, I believe, or Love of Knitting. And this is the Ghost Horses by Caitlin Hunter, also known as Boyland Knitworks. Those, and then this is Toe Up 2 at a Time Socks by Mina Phillips, also known as the Knitting Expat. Those are the things I've been working on, and I feel like I've gotten so much progress done. Very pleased. And yeah, the big thing that I wanted to talk about, I guess, was really just obsessing about that loom, because I have been lurking the internet for months. Blame Wax. She let me sit down and try the floor loom at the state fair this year. It's all your fault. Hi, I love you. And pretty much since then, I've been thinking about it and lurking and thinking about it. And it got to the point where not only was I looking at full price, brand new looms and like price comparisons, shopping, but also, lurking every site that I could think of that might have them. So eBay, Craigslist, the Weavers Guild, and then each of the individual shops that sell them wholesale or directly. And I was starting to feel a little bit crazy. Like it's when the shopping gets its claws in me, I have so much trouble making it stop. And I kind of knew this was happening. Like I had enough self-awareness to be like, this is getting out of control. But part of it is like, okay, well then, if you're this obsessed and it's been this long, get one that you can afford, high budget, and try it. And if you hate it, you can put it right back on the internet, because stuff, it comes, it goes. As long as I'm not pricing it somewhere ridiculous, it could just as easily go again. The woman who is selling me her loom is also selling me the bench that goes with it, or that was included in the price. I'm not sure about any other bits and bobs. She wasn't super clear on that. She said that she used it mostly for rug weaving, which is not my mission. I actually have been kind of blowing off some affordable looms because they were so heavily marketed for rug weaving. I'm not a huge fan of the look of a rag rug. It's kind of like the reason I don't do a ton of crochet. The fabric is not my jam. So like rag rugs are cute, but they're also a tripping hazard. And, I can't really make them big enough. And that's not the mission I'm on. So I am hoping in the acquisition of this loom to learn more about weaving, to use a lot of the like mass quantities of yarn that I've never known what to do with for something pretty, like to make a scarf or to make some other sort of fabric, to like eat through a whole bunch of the cotton yarn that I think might be too stiff to knit with, in a way that it could become kitchen towels and could be gifted. I think also I got cones and cones of yarn specifically for learning how to weave. And I tried to get a bunch of natural fabrics, but I also did get some acrylic. And so making those into things instead of just being a thing that takes over my bookshelves, that's the mission, my friends. That's the mission, is to use what I have. And yes, I am buying a very expensive toy in order to continue using what I have. But I think that it will be overall a good experience. And maybe give me a little bit more breathing room in my stash to, I don't know, blitz through the stuff that I'm not super enamored with when it comes to the kind of knitting I like to do. You know, like I have sweater quantities upon sweater quantities of yarn. And I am constantly obsessing about what sweater am I going to make next? But also, like, I could make other things. I could use this loom to make fabric. And then I could go off on the tangent of like sewing my own clothing. I was just watching yet another documentary about, you know, overconsumption and the idea that when you throw something away, where is this away? It's not magical. It's a landfill or it's somebody else's backyard. And, you know, being more cognizant of what we consume and why and when and where and how and where does it come from and where is it going and like how many of them do we need? I try to be cognizant of how much I consume, and I'm not always great at it. You know, I definitely buy a lot of things that are encased in plastic and don't always do the things that might maybe get that plastic recycled. But I mean, according to what I was just watching, there's a solid chance that it isn't anyway, because what they were saying is that most of the labels that say things are recyclable are lies. It doesn't mean I'm going to stop recycling, not even a little bit, but it does mean that I'm going to be maybe more cautious in throwing a bunch of stuff that's questionable into the recycling, because that doesn't really help the people at the recycling plant to make the best choices. And I would like to be a little bit more aware of what I'm consuming. But before this gets too serious, I should probably get going. I'm thanking you once again, my friends, for coming to hang out with me. And I hope that you enjoy these little check-ins I've been doing. I'm trying to keep them kind of short and sweet. I don't have anything like very important to say about any of the stuff that I'm making right now. They're all sort of in progress. I'm really happy with them. I like all the patterns that I'm using. I am enjoying my mission to use the patterns that I own and try out the designers that I haven't familiarized myself with as much. I think all of those goals are going very well. I have continued to read up a storm, and last you heard from me, I was waiting with bated breath to read Deep End by Ali Hazelwood, and I actually finally finished it yesterday. I held off for at least a week. I don't remember exactly which day I filmed all of this, but I think it was a week or 10 days ago. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. 9 days ago, I got that book in the mail, and I waited a whole week before I finally let myself read it. And now it'll be a really long time until she writes another one. And it was so good. I read it all in a day. I had the day off. It was great. I had a couple of little things in between. I had to go to the dentist and feed my mom's cat. But I read the book so fast, and it was so good. And then I was like so pleased with how good the story was that I almost dove right into the next book. And then I was like, wait, time out. Wait, if the next one sucks, you're going to be mad. So just sit here and savor it for a hot second. And that's what I did. I've been reading a nonfiction book about a lady who's visiting all of the like islands around Scotland and knitting socks. So it's called In the Footsteps of Sheep. Can also recommend that. So, you know, I took an abrupt turn back into nonfiction land so that I could savor the fiction I was reading. But anyway, thanks so much for stopping by, my friends. I hope that you're enjoying this as much as I am. And I'll see you next time. Bye.